Outer Wilds is a game developed by Mobius Digital and published by Annapurna Interactive. It released on the Epic Game Store and on Xbox One. I had heard a little bit about the game through some podcasts, but I still didn't really know what the game was supposed to be, so on a whim I decided to buy it myself and check it out. Immediately, I was struck by the main menu's theme. It was being whistled and played on a few instruments like a banjo and some drums and what seemed like a flute. It was really serene and it kind of felt like home. It was very cozy, and that feeling really carries through in the first part of the game. You take the role of a pilot on a somewhat primitive planet. Your launch pad is made of wood, but your species has accomplished space travel. You're first told to head to the observatory for the launch codes, and along the way you're able to participate in some tutorials for moving in zero gravity and controlling your spaceship. Eventually you're given a translating device, and your immediate goal is to translate the ruins scattered across the solar system, and discover how a previously dominant species died out. You also have a strange interaction with the statue, but after that you're free to take off. And if I'm being vague, it's just because I don't want to spoil too much about the game. So as soon as you take off, the worlds are your oysters. There are several planets to explore. There's your home, Timberhearth, and its moon, the Addle Rock, the Ashen Ember Twin, Brittle Hollow and its volcanic moon, Giant's Deep, the Interloper, Dark Bramble, and the Quantum Moon. It sounds like a lot, but after playing for a few hours, you'll quickly learn to memorize all the locations in the game. All of these locations have information and puzzles that will help you piece together what happened to your predecessors, and each piece of information gets added to a map on your ship's computer. You'll quickly learn that death is completely inevitable. You can die by drowning, suffocating because you forgot to put your spacesuit on, being crushed, crash landing, flying into the sun, and some other methods. It's part of the gameplay loop, and thankfully you'll keep any information you discovered across your deaths, so each life just becomes a new test to find some more information, or lore, or data to expand the map of information you're collecting. And this is part of why Outer Wilds is so fun. And almost of equal importance, every time you come back to life, you're able to take off pretty much immediately. This prevents deaths from feeling like a huge punishment, and lets you get back into the action. As the game starts, you're given the option to go find the astronauts that have left your planet before you, and if you do, they'll all give you new pieces of information and suggestions on how to proceed, but you actually don't have to seek them out. As soon as you leave orbit, you're able to go wherever you want, and you'll usually be rewarded for it. As I was putting together the video, I realized there's one specific place that I'd never explored, and when I did, I was surprised to find a reward waiting for me. It was completely non-vital to beating the game, but if I was stuck, that would have helped me get past one specific hurdle. And I think that highlights one of the strengths of the game, where even if you think that it's outrageous to do something, it's probable that the developer anticipated you would try it and left you a reward in case you do. And as the information starts to come together, you peel back the curtain on a story that is actually very touching. I don't want to get too specific, but the story you discover, it puts a lot of things in perspective, and it made me appreciate the life that I live. Now, the game isn't without its downsides, however. The controls can be hard to master, especially for the ship, because you have so many degrees of movement. But as time goes on, I found myself mastering them and pulling off maneuvers that I wouldn't have expected earlier in the game. And some of the puzzles can feel a little obtuse, but for the most part, all the information you find does a really good job of leading into other planets and areas that you might have been having some difficulty with. Of course, even with all the information present, sometimes you have to take a leap of faith to try something that may or may not work as a solution. But they don't really detract from what I think is a largely unique and a touching experience. Honestly, it's one of my serious contenders for my personal game of the year, and I'm glad I bought it. As I'm sure you've guessed, I'm giving this game a glowingly positive review, and I suggest everybody play it, especially if you have an Xbox, because it's on the Xbox Game Pass. So if you already have it, it's basically free to try. Last but not least, I haven't mentioned much about the visuals, but they are breathtaking, and I hope this video is enough to show you what beautifully crafted worlds await. Each world is believably created with a variety of hazards and their own climate, gravity, and secrets to explore. The game is worth every penny, whether you buy it at full price or you can get it during a sale, and I can't wait to see what Mobius Digital creates next. And that brings us to the end of the review. Hopefully you're still watching and you enjoyed it. And if you did, please hit the like button down below, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're not currently subscribed to the channel. And I'll be sure to work on more video reviews in the future. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.